Sound coming in 1, 2, 3. How do I start this video? I'm trying to like go along the edges of the screen. I don't know if I'll do this perfectly. I don't know. Let me see. Not the edges. I'm coming down. Look at this, guys. Look at this. I don't know if I can see it clearly. Okay, if you actually wasted your time watching that, by the way, you should have just moved on or something. Anyway, guys, welcome to another video, and this time this is not a tutorial. I've done a couple of tutorials. I thought this time I should just sit down and you and me have a conversation. You know, we're chilling, right? Okay, I just hit the camera. Anyway, guys, so much for all the funny intros. I'm probably not the best comic, but today's video, I wanted us to really sit down and talk about something that a lot of us possibly think about in our own time, and it is something I've just really seen with a lot of the creatives I've been interacting with in the past like few months and weeks. Today I want to talk about bad ideas, and I really want to talk about bad ideas because I think one of the things that we struggle with as creatives is really coming up with the next big and life-changing idea. All right, now I want to start this by talking about something that I had a YouTuber that I follow called Sean Cannell talk about, and he talks about the process of starting a creative journey or a career or everything. When you start, you are like you are standing at the bottom of the mountain, and you're looking up at the mountain and seeing everybody else who's climbed the mountain and wondering, when will I get there? So the people on top of the mountain will be, giving out tips on the best routes to use, where you'll find the valleys, and it's all good. But there's one thing about people who are on top of the mountain that I don't like. There's just this thing that they throw around, and I think it's not good for other creatives. This is what they say: if you're on this creative journey, make sure you only post your best work. Pressure. So much pressure. Okay. Only my best work. This is the thing. This is the reason why I have a problem with posting only your best work. First of all, that is so much pressure. I can't deal. Miss Wazy. What am I supposed to do? The second reason I really do not agree with that is because how do you know if an idea is good or bad? You post it. You will never really know if something is good until it is posted, until it is out there in the world. This is the thing. Let's come back down. I want to take the time and just define what the meaning of bad is, or how do we decide that something is bad. Okay? And I'm going to do this with an analogy. So, this is definitely a bad idea. Taking a blunt of weed and smoking it in front of a police officer. That is a bad idea. So let's ask ourselves, why is it a bad idea? It is a bad idea because the society in general has set up a number of laws that govern us, that tell us weed is an illegal drug. So you do not want to smoke an illegal drug in front of a police officer. Something is only bad once a community or a group of people decide that this is not the right thing to do, this in our books is bad. So meaning that what might be bad here in Kenya may not entirely be bad in Uganda, because the two countries are different, the tribes living in both countries are different, they have different cultures, beliefs, practices. So bad in itself is a decision, is a relative decision. It depends on where you're at. It might be, an idea might be good somewhere, but it might not be good in another place. So you really have to test it out in different places to determine whether it's good or bad. Hope that made sense. I said a lot of stuff, I don't even remember what I said, but basically. So as a creative, when you get an idea, you start working on an idea and you get halfway through the idea, and then you start telling yourself, maybe this is not a good idea. And this is the thing, the guys at the top are not telling you one thing, that they had to put out a lot of bad work in order for them to know what to do. All right, like there's a lot of bad work out there, and a lot of people are putting out a lot of stuff, experimenting with it constantly, every day. It's just crazy. Like there's a lot of mediocre work out there, but you know what, in as much as there's mediocre work, right, like I know there are mediocre creators out there, but a lot of people follow them. Like, this guy doesn't know a lot of stuff, but a lot of people follow them, a lot of people like what they're doing, and it's just, you're wondering, maybe what is happening? What is happening? I want to give you 2 reasons why I think that you should post a lot more bad work. The first reason that I think you should post a lot of your bad work is, until you post bad work, you will never get direction on where to go. Okay? So let's say you're starting out, let me use photography in this example. You're starting out in photography, you don't really know what you want to end up shooting, whether landscapes, whether travel, whether portraits, you really don't know. So in order for you to start, you need to pick one, do it for a little bit, and then put out some work. Now once you put it out, there are people who are going to be commenting or giving remarks on what it is that you're doing. Okay, those small comments are the things that will give you some direction. That has been very true for me. When I started photography, the first thing I did was I joined a small group of people who were photographers as well, people who were starting out as well. There was a mixture of us, people who had been in it for a while, people who were just starting out, who were the majority, and people give each other critiques. We constantly posted asking for critique. What should I do better? What do you think should have worked? And it is in that group that I really started understanding things like composition, lighting, color grading, just understanding so many things. But then I took it upon myself to take those things further and research on my own. If it is composition, I looked for all sorts of composition techniques and practiced those. And from those, I now knew what direction to take the next time I go out to shoot. Okay, now the second reason I think that you should post more bad work is for something I call self-affirmation. Yes, I think that it comes, there gets to a point in a creative's life where you have to keep pushing yourself. You have to keep driving yourself no matter what, because sometimes it becomes very, very frustrating. Now, I'll give you an example of myself. In 2017, okay, let's just say it was actually 2016. In June 2017, I came across a photographer called Chris Knight, and I know a lot of you know Chris Knight and a lot of the work that he does. Now, Chris Knight has a very low-key kind of look. His images are rather dark, but dark and dramatic. When I first saw his work, I was very drawn to it, and I said, I want to do this. Okay, so the first thing I did was go online, Google Chris Knight, get onto his website, try and see if he had a few things or a YouTube channel or some tutorials that I could pirate. in the beginning it wasn't as easy to get them, so I just pirated most of them. So I looked up for a lot of his work, and I was constantly, just building up on it all the time. What happened is I started taking images with his style, and I remember the first image that I ever took, having learned it from Chris Knight, and that was early June 2016. Now, after that, I also continued just picking up more of his tutorials, more of his lighting techniques and things like that. And I remember in June of 2017, I took this first image that I took, and then decided, you know what, let me re-edit this image. I think this image, I can do something to it. And I re-edited it, and I was looking at the two images side to side, and I was like, wow, those are two very different edits. And the second edit looked so much better than the first one, and I was like, wow, this image was actually really bad, and I didn't see it then. It's only now that I see it. So when I say self-affirmation, looking at work that you did before and looking at work that you're doing now, you will be able to see how much you've grown. You will be able to affirm to yourself that you've actually grown and you're actually doing something. Right now, as we speak, I have been doing photography for 5 years, right? And I can assure you that no photographer in the world is going to tell me that my work is bad. And the reason why that won't happen is because I look back at all the work I did when I started and all the work that I am doing now, and I look at that huge difference, and I'm like, there is no way my work is bad. My work is getting better over time. And this is the thing, no one should ever tell you that, you have bad work. If somebody is telling you that, I don't think it's right. I think it's downgrading you. If you're at the beginning of doing something and somebody really wants to assist you to stop doing bad work, they will assist you, bring up your work. They will give you a critique. Sometimes critiques come off very bad and people take them the wrong way, but in being a creative, you need to learn to take a punch. You need to learn to take negative comments in some way. Crying and whining over, people talking badly about your work isn't going to change your work, right? That's not what's going to change it. You actually taking the time to work on small things is what is going to bring a dramatic change to what you're doing. So guys, those two reasons, to get direction and for self-affirmation. Self-affirmation is just, it makes you feel good, right? You see how much you've grown. So guys, this is I have rambled for so long. I am so tired. I have no tea in this cup. Chai imeisha. I think I should take the time and just go make more tea and then go to bed. I hope you guys enjoy your week. Guys, keep creating. Remember, post that bad work, and I'll see you guys in another video. Toodaloo!